I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I don't like American football, and I just don't like Bad Bunny's music. That's just my taste. My rap and reggae are old school. Run DMC, The Fat Boys, LL Cool J, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley. That's what I like to listen to. I've heard Bad Bunny before, and it's just not for me. None of that stopped me from doing the work for this video, though. I still took the time to read the lyrics. I took the time to look at the cultural context. I paid attention to how Puerto Rican Spanish actually works, and I translated them correctly, because it takes more than a quick Google translation to understand tone, slang, and meaning, and that's the point. You don't have to like the music, and you don't have to watch the Super Bowl, and you don't have to be a fan of Bad Bunny. Taste is personal. Accuracy is not. Now, I keep seeing people calling Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance offensive. But if you're going to call something offensive, especially in a language and culture that isn't your own, the bare minimum is understanding what you're reacting to. Most of those people don't speak Spanish, and most of them don't understand Puerto Rican culture. And many of them clearly didn't bother to look past a Google translation before forming an opinion. MAGA moron Congressman Mark Alford publicly criticized Bad Bunny's lyrics as offensive.
These lyrics, if it is true what was said on national television, we have a lot of questions. The lyrics, from what we have seen from Bad Bunny, are very disturbing.
He also openly admitted that he doesn't speak Spanish, except for knowing how to ask where the bathroom is.
You know, I don't speak fluent Spanish, okay? I know how to ask where the bathroom is.
Think about that for a second. A sitting member of Congress felt comfortable judging a performance in a language he doesn't understand. That's not reacting to the lyrics. That's reacting to a translation, a headline, or someone else's outrage.
Research. If you don't understand the words and someone's told you they're highly offended, go look it up yourself.
If a translation came out as Puerto Rico was fucking great, it's almost certainly translating a slang intensifier, not a literal sexual phrase. It's hype, celebration, and cultural pride, especially when talking about Puerto Rico. In Spanish, especially Puerto Rican Spanish, they usually aren't using a literal equivalent of the English F word. They're using local slang intensifiers that express hype, pride, or emphasis. So, when a translation says, Puerto Rico is fucking great, the original Spanish is more likely something like, Puerto Rico is amazing, Puerto Rico is incredible, badass. None of those literally mean fuck. They're closer to how English speakers would say, damn good, awesome as hell, so freaking good. Google Translate and lyric sites even often swap in fucking because it's the closest emotional punch word in English, not because the Spanish word literally means the F word. Machine translation strips out slang, tone, humor, and cultural nuance. It often turns celebratory language into harsh English profanity that wasn't meant that way in the first place. So people end up reacting to a distorted version of the lyrics, not the actual message. It's slang enthusiasm, pride, and emphasis, not explicit profanity in the way that English speakers think of it. Just because you don't understand a language doesn't make it offensive. A lot of what people are reacting to isn't the lyrics themselves, it's unfamiliarity. It's hearing Spanish on one of the biggest stages in American culture and assuming it must be vulgar, aggressive, or inappropriate. That says more about the listener than the music. Bad Bunny's performance was largely a celebration of Puerto Rico, identity, pride, culture, and belonging.
The Bad Bunny halftime show was the hug that the Latino community all needed. You're not going to take that away. Here's the thing. There's literally nothing they can do at this point to take away our joy and our pride.
Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. They serve in the U.S. military, they pay federal taxes, and they contribute to American culture, sports, music, and politics. So when Puerto Rican culture shows up at the Super Bowl, that's not foreign, that's American. And if that bothers you, you need to ask yourself why. Millions of people in the United States speak Spanish, either as their first language or their second. Spanish is not some fringe language, it's part of a daily American life. When people hear a performance in Spanish and immediately label it offensive, what I hear is, I don't understand it, therefore it must be bad. That's not analysis, that's ignorance. And relying on a rough Google translation or word-of-mouth outrage doesn't help. This isn't really about one performance. It's about whether Latino culture, Puerto Rican culture, is seen as fully American when it stands on the biggest stage, because it is. And it deserves to be there, not as a token and not as a novelty, as a major central part of what American culture actually is. If you didn't like the music, fine. Taste is subjective. I don't like that music. But calling it offensive just because you don't understand the language or the culture, that's not criticism. That's a refusal to learn. Bad Bunny wasn't representing some foreign culture on that stage. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. When a U.S. congressman hears Spanish at the Super Bowl and jumps straight to offensive without understanding the language or the context or the nuance, that says more about the reaction than the performance. Criticizing lyrics that you don't understand isn't an informed criticism, it's assumption. Thank you all so very much for watching my video. If you found the video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And please let me know in the comments what you think. Even just an emoji as a comment helps the algorithm get my videos out to more people and helps this little community grow. Everything helps, and I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to smash that bell to be notified whenever Mr. Robbie Says has something to say. Also, if you like what I do and you'd like to support me, you can buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link in the description. Thank you all again so very much. You'll see me later.